new spells for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. They don't come out that often. In fact, we've only really gotten 3 issues of new spells in like a large amount over the course of 5 years. But if you haven't seen the new spells that were added in the Acquisitions Incorporated book, they're interesting, and I'm going to go over them right now. So stay tuned. All right, so we don't have a ton of spells, but there's some interesting ones here. So we have Distort Value is the first one up, first level spell. Casting time takes a minute in a range of touch and a duration of 8 hours. You need to squeeze it, and they're all written in an Ack Inc. way, which is part of the reason why I like them so much. Do you need to squeeze a few more gold pieces out of a merchant as you try to sell that weird octopus statue you liberated from the Chaos Temple? Do you need to downplay the worth of some magical assets when the tax collector stops by? Distort Value has you covered. You cast the spell on an object no more than 1 foot on a side, doubling the object's perceived value by adding illusionary flourishes or polish to it, or reducing its perceived value by half with the help of illusory scratches, dents, and other unsightly features. Anyone examining the object can ascertain its true value its true value with a successful intelligence investigation check against your spell save DC. At higher levels, for each level above 2, you maximize the maximum size of this object increases by a foot for each slot above 1. Fast Friends, a 3rd level enchantment spell, 1 action, duration, concentration up to an hour. When you need to make sure something gets done, you can't rely on vague promises, sworn oaths, or binding contracts of employment. When you cast this spell, choose one humanoid within range that you can see and hear, or that can see and hear you, rather, and that can understand you. The creature must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become charmed by you for the duration. While it is charmed, it undertakes to perform any services or activities you ask of it in a friendly manner to the best of its ability. You can set the creature new tasks when a previous task is completed, or if you decide to end its current task. If the service or activity might cause harm to the creature, or if it conflicts with the creature's normal activities and desires, it can make another wisdom saving throw to try and end the effect. The save is made with advantage if you or your companions are fighting the creature. If the activity would result in a certain death for the creature, it ends. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you. When you cast it with a 4th level or higher, you can get 1 additional creature. And here it lists what classes get what. So bards get Distort Value, Gift of Gab, Fast Friends, and Motivational Speech. Clerics get Fast Friends, Incite Greed, and Motivational Speech. Sorcerers, Distort Value, Incite Greed. Wizards, Distort Value, Jim's Magic Missile, Gift of Gab, Jim's Glowing Coin, Fast Friends, and Incite Greed. And Warlocks get Distort Value and Incite Greed. Gift of Gab. 1 reaction when you speak to another creature. I really like this one. Instantaneous. Jim Dark Magic is said to have invented this spell, originally calling it, I said what? Have you ever been talking to a local monarch and accidentally mentioned how their son looks like your favorite hog from when you were growing up on the family farm? We've all been there. But rather than being beheaded for an honest slip of the tongue, you can pretend it never happened by ensuring that no one knows it happened. When you cast this spell, you skillfully reshape the memories of listeners in your immediate area so that each creature of your choice within 5 feet of you forgets everything you said within the last 6 seconds. Those creatures then remember that what you actually said, the words that you speak as the verbal components of this spell. Incite Greed, 3rd level, 1 action, means a gem worth 50 gold pieces and a concentration up to a minute. When you cast this spell, you present the gem used as a material component and choose any number of creatures within range that you can see. Each target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you until the spell ends or until your companions do anything harmful to it. While charmed in this way, a creature can do nothing but use its movement to approach you in a safe manner. While an affected creature is within 5 feet of you, it cannot move but simply stares greedily at the gem you present. At the end of each of its turn, an affected creature can make a wisdom saving throw. If it succeeds, the effect ends for the target. Jim's Glowing Coin. 2nd level enchantment spell, 1 action, components. I'll have to get to this royalty component in a second here. Duration 1 minute. Of the many tactics employed by a master magician and renowned adventurer Jim Dark Magic, the old glowing coin trick is a time-honored classic. When you cast a spell, you hurl the coin that's the spell's material component to any spot within range. The coin lights up as if under the effects of the light spell. Each creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of the coin must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be distracted for the duration. While distracted, a creature has disadvantage on perception checks and initiative rolls. Royalty component. Jim Dark Magic's unique brand of spellcasting mixes arcane expertise with a particular kind of pecuniary, I guess, fervor, rather. New spells originally developed by Jim spawned a new type of spell component, which has since been spread to other spells created by employees and franchisees of Acquisitions Incorporated, the royalty component. To cast a spell that employs a royalty component, including using a spell scroll or other magic item that stores such a spell, a caster must have sufficient funds on their person. The cost of casting is set by the caster who creates the spell, but is typically 1 gold piece per spell slot level. When the spell is cast, the royalty is magically transported to a coffer or other object designated by the creating spellcaster. The payment is made whether the caster using the spell is aware of the royalty component or not. If the caster does not have sufficient funds, the spell is not lost, but it cannot be cast. Though many casters have tried to circumvent the royalty component, none have ever fully succeeded. However, it is said that a character can attempt a DC 15 Arcana check while casting a spell with a royalty component. With a successful check, the payment is taken from a random creature within 10 feet of the caster without that creature's knowledge. Probably my favorite one is Jim's Magic Missile, a first-level evocation spell with a range of 120 feet as an action. It does have a 1 gold royalty component. Any apprentice wizard can cast a boring old magic missile. Sure, it always strikes its target. Yawn. Do away with the drudgery of your grandfather's magic with this improved version of the spell, as used by Jim Dark Magic. You create 3 twisting, whistling, hypoallergenic, gluten-free darts of magical force. Each dart strikes a creature of your choice that you can see within range. Make a ranged spell attack for each targets a creature rather. Make a ranged spell attack for each missile. On a hit, a missile deals 2d4 force damage to its target. If the attack scores a critical hit, the target of that missile takes 5d4 force damage instead of you rolling twice for a critical hit. If the attack roll for any missile is a 1, all missiles miss their target and blow up in your face, dealing 1 force damage per missile to you. I like it because it adds a little bit of randomness and chance to it. When you cast this spell using a spell slot of 2nd level or higher, the spell creates 1 more dart and the royalty component increases by 1 gold for each slot above 1st level. And lastly, we have Motivational Speech, a 3rd level enchantment. It takes 1 minute to cast, lasts for an hour. You address allies, staff, or innocent bystanders to exhort and inspire them to greatness, whether they have anything to be excited about or not. Choose up to 5 creatures within range that can hear you. For the duration, each affected creature gains 5 temporary hit points and has advantage on wisdom saving throws. If an affected creature is hit by an attack, it has advantage on the next attack roll it makes. Once an affected creature loses the temporary hit points granted by the spell ends for that creature. When you cast this spell using a slot of 4th level or higher, the temporary hit points increases by 5 for each slot above 3rd level. So that's it, guys. That's all of the new spells added to the Acquisitions Incorporated book. They're now officially part of 5th edition canon, so you can add them in any one of your games, and you really shouldn't have any issues. The only way I guess it could be an issue would be in Adventures League play, unless you chose this as your Player's Handbook +1 to get access to these spells. Again, my personal favorite is Jim's Magic Missile because I think it's really interesting. Although the idea of Distort Value, I never thought of Distort Value for the opposite. I've been in campaigns where I've done things and like the kind of leader of the whole raid on a town, for example, says, I'm going to take the most expensive thing. I reserve the right to take whatever I want from you that you pillage from the town. And you could have technically used Distort Value to decrease the value of the thing and maybe be able to keep it. And then when the spell ends, you know that it's worth a lot more. I was always thinking of it increasing the value to then sell something for more money than it's worth. But that's interesting as well. So, anyway, guys, let me know what you think of the new spells added to in the Acquisitions Incorporated book. Are you a fan of them? Have you used them in your game? Do you think they're goofy and just live in Acquisitions Incorporated land and don't have a place at your table? I'm very curious. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I also stream on Twitch every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday evening. So if you want to see me doing stuff live, be sure to come and check that out as well. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.